Last story of the day here is also in the news. Andrade posted a cryptic Instagram post that looks like it might be a farewell to AEW fans. Now, one thing that's funny about like this new generation of wrestlers is like, can anybody just come out and say what they're thinking? And I get there's legalities and there's lawyers involved and you have to be careful, but like this is obviously meant to incite some form of communication from the internet. And I don't get, maybe it's Bray Wyatt's fault. Bray Wyatt's made it cool to have like fans decipher 100 messages to get the context of what you're really trying to say. And I get like wrestlers, they always have to like generate some kind of buzz, but like, is it not just okay to come out and say, I'm done with AEW? And let me get this out there. I've never been a huge Andrade fan. So this news to me is not big news. I'm not overly excited. I'm not, doing backflips saying how quickly can WWE and Triple H sign him and bring him back to WWE. But like I can see the benefit of bringing him back to WWE and helping out a group like Legado de Fantasma, right? It would make sense. Don't know that's what they're going to do, but he just seems like he could help Escobar kind of raise awareness of the group. I think that's what they tried to do with Selena Vega, and it didn't quite translate as much as they like. But like, I think someone like Andrade could do that. But I originally thought like when you got suspended from AEW, I thought that just meant that you got to come back in a couple of weeks and have a title match for any title of your choosing, right? Like that's how AEW works. No, that's only if you're an EVP. That's not hypocritical at all, Tony Khan. It's not hypocritical at all that your EVPs can get suspended, disappear, go away, come back, challenge for a title, and just pick up right where they left off. But if your name's Andrade and you get into a fight with either the Elite or one of Jericho's boys, you're done. You don't get to come back. You don't get to come back and do it again. You don't get to come back into a better position. The hypocrisy of AEW, it really makes it hard for me to fully commit to being a fan. Like when I read things like this, it makes it hard for me to commit and go, oh no, I'm sold on this, because it always feels like a train wreck waiting to happen. It really, AEW, every time I look at it, it just reminds me of the good old boys club. You have the Elite, which sit on the top, and right next to them, you have the Jericho boys. And I like Jericho, got no problem with Jericho, but like when I hear him talk about CM Punk, and I hear him talk, and I hear about these situations with like Andrade and CM Punk, and how Jericho is outspoken, how the Elite are outspoken, and how they take shots at CM Punk when they come back. And I see all this, and like basically if you mess with one of these guys, you can pack your bags and you can leave. And now it's going to get interesting, because we'll see how Tony Khan handles this. And another thing that bothers me is, how long is it until the Elite or Chris Jericho get jealous of MJF because he's moving the needle, and they think they need to make up some bullshit story on how he did something in the locker room or how he said something wrong, and they decide he's got to go? I'm guessing it's like 3 months from now. If MJF starts to move the ratings in a way that the Elite and Jericho and Kenny Omega can't, like if he can move the ratings in a way that they never have for AEW, I think those guys are going to start to panic. And they're going to try to find a way to push him out of the company. You can play all you want on the All Elite playground as long as you don't outperform the Bucks, Kenny Omega, or Chris Jericho. As long as MJF falls in line, which he doesn't really feel like a fall in line kind of guy, he'll be all right. But I think if he starts to step outside that box, he starts to move the needle a little bit. He starts to get recognition outside of the Elite, outside of Jericho. They're going to get concerned. That's why they didn't like CM Punk. Let's be honest. Like, I don't care what CM Punk did. When he came into the company, they definitely already had a chip on their shoulder. And I still think, like, there's still a part of me that believes quietly there is something going on behind the scenes of AEW. And I think we are on the verge of a max exodus from AEW. There is a group of guys who are trying to figure out how to get out of their contracts. And it's not just guys. I believe there's a group of guys and girls. I believe Thunder Rosa wants out. I believe Andrade wants out. I believe Miro wants out. I believe people like Penelope Ford, they want out. And I think Tony Khan is not opposed to cleaning house. I just think Tony Khan is now being a hypocrite. And instead of this whole mentality that he started with of, hey, look, you're free to come, you're free to go whenever you like. We don't want to lock you down. I think that's all gone out the window. I think now we're getting the Tony Khan who goes, let's slap some non-competes on these guys. We got to keep them out of the business. We can't let these people go to other companies. We've got to lock down and make sure that we're not competing with these people. And the IWC was so quick to attack Vince McMahon when he would give out future endeavors. Let's see how they react when Tony Khan has to face this first real loss of talent. He has to face this real moment of adversity where there are people who are disgruntled and they want out of the company. And when you start talking, you can't continue to pay all these people to sit at home. You know, he can't pay CM Punk to sit at home. He can't pay Miro to sit at home. You can't pay Andrade to sit at home. Let's see what Tony Khan has to do when he has to face this music. But that is all the time I have for today, guys. That is the Casual Wrestling Daily podcast. I will pick up where I left off tomorrow with whatever happens tomorrow. Make sure to tune in on Monday through Friday for more amazing WWE and AEW wrestling podcast content. As always, I am the Notorious Nerdy D, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, Casual Wrestling Community Show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Don't show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, pile driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like the show, but you should